Hello, welcome to Python OP Lesson 2. I hope you've already seen Lesson 1. If you haven't, I recommend you to watch it first. So in Lesson 1, we created class car and now we will add to it some more attributes. We remember our parameters self, which refers to our instance, and name, which really is just a name. Now we add the parameter year, which represents the year of manufacturing, and we expect it to be an integer. We could write some extra code to validate if it is an integer, but that would make our example too complicated. Therefore, we'll just pass it as it is. Let's add another attribute age to our future instances. We don't need to pass it here in parentheses, as we can easily get it with the following code. Import datetime, extract datetime now year, which will represent our current year as an integer, and subtract the manufacturing year. Now I must note that this code has a problem. Init function is running only one time for each object. It never updates these values. So, the age will be stored in our object as a hard-coded value, representing the age of the car when it was created as an instance, rather than its actual age. There's a correct way to achieve this, but I will show you how to do it in future videos. Now, let's create instances of this class. We create an object car1, which automatically goes as a self parameter, and we pass it the name and year. Now we repeat the same for car2, giving it name and year. You may think that init is the only way to assign parameters to an instance, but no, we can also do it manually. What init does is that it takes self, recognizes that it's a car1 object, and assigns car1.name equals name, and it does so for all these parameters. We can do the same thing by typing car2 engine equals V16. Now this is stored to car2 object. We can also change value wheels for our car2. It was easy too. What we need to know that we just added local instance variable wheels to our object, and this class value stays unchanged. Every instance has its own dictionary where Python stores its all attributes. Every time when you add attributes using dot to your instance, it will make it instance property and it will be stored to your instance dictionary. The next statement is not 100% accurate, but you can think of instances as dictionaries linked to their names and stored somewhere in memory. If you want to change a class attribute, you just use your whole class name and do the same thing. And guess what? It is stored to the class dictionary. So, there is one major dictionary of whole class, where it stores class properties, and there is a lot of instance dictionaries where Python stores their own parameters. Now let's print out our dictionaries. It's very easy. There are two ways to do it for any object. One is to call vars and give it instance name as parameter. Second is to get dict as attribute of our object. These lines of code have to print the same result. Let's run our code. As you can see, result is the same as we expected. Car1 dictionary has 3 variables as we declared in init function. We also printed dictionary for car2. We see our attributes name, year, age, as like we provided in car1 instance, but we also have 2 more attributes, engine what we provided here, and wheels we provided here. And we also printed dictionary for whole class. It has lots of scary data besides attributes, but look, it has attribute wheels. As you remember, we changed it here and it stores its updated version. Now let's look once again at our car1 dictionary. It does not include wheels attribute. What if I want to print it out? No problem. Python first looked for it in instance dictionary, no luck. Then it looked for it once again here in class dictionary, and when it finds it, it does what it has to do. What if we asked Python to print attribute that does not exist? We will got an error. Attribute error. Car object has no attribute wheels. Did you mean wheels? It's better not to do that. So, this is all for lesson 2. Thank you for watching. If you have more questions, put them in comment section. The next video will be about methods. Goodbye.